1212 Rebel Tedtv here, and I'm here to talk about some things that's going on the internet. And what's going on the internet as of right now, March 22nd, 2026. Niggas is mad at Russell. Love Russell. My bad, not Russell Westbrook or nothing like that. Byron Russell or nothing like that. Love Russell. Rapper from the Bay Area or something like that. I don't know. What are they mad at him about, man? They mad at him what he said about his song. That be going on out of me. What he was saying on his song? A song named Heaven Sent. He was saying how Malcolm is Heaven Sent and Martin Luther King is Heaven Sent. Then he said Donald Trump is Heaven Sent and Epstein is Heaven Sent. And the people was like, yo, what are you talking about? You must not know the definition of Heaven Sent. Now, I mean, there's a whole bunch of backlash and all that from that. Now, just because God created the earth doesn't mean that everybody on earth, and God created humans, doesn't mean everybody on earth is heaven sent. You know what I mean? If you go look closely to some of these people are bringing up the Bible and all this stuff. They're picking and choosing. You go do a little more research. God don't really like earthly possession. He don't like the earth. You know, this earth is ruled by the devil. So you really do some research. A lot of humans aren't heaven sent. You know what I mean? Our DNA was corrupted. You know what I mean? By people that was kicked out of heaven. They wasn't heaven sent. It was kicked out of heaven and it went down here. Being heaven sent to being the devil is in the actions. You know what I mean? So just because these people are born here and people are created by God doesn't mean they're heaven sent. You know what I mean? Look at Lucifer. He was beautiful. He was an angel. But then he started doing foul stuff. It basically made him a devil. You know what I mean? He got kicked out of heaven. That made him a devil. So your actions define what you are. No matter how you made or where you came from, to tell you the truth. You know what I mean? But I think the real problem is that it sounds like he's asking for sympathy and empathy for these pedophiles and the system, these people of power, and that's the problem. These people in power always getting these other people with some type of influence and try to overlook all the foulness that they did. You know what I mean? They act like pedophiles are worse than people that jaywalk or something like that. You know what I mean? They go harder at bootleggers than they do at pedophiles. You know what I mean? So it sounds like Russell's kind of giving them a pass and comparing them to Malcolm and Martin when their actions aren't the same, their actions aren't equivalent. And it's not a good look, you know what I mean? It seems like you don't really know what you're talking about. And most of the time, if you listen to him, he's mostly just a shock drop. Now, I haven't heard too many songs from Russell. I'm not a big fan. I heard this freestyle that he got called Frenemies. That was alright. You know what I mean? But I heard something else, one other thing. You know what I mean? But basically what he's talking about is he's trying to piss people off. He's a rage baiter. He's a rage baiter rapper. You know what I mean? He wants to say things that he knows is going to get black people upset. You know what I mean? He's going to get the majority upset because this is how they get recognized. You know what I mean? For example, he talked about this Epstein and Trump stuff and Israel and Palestine. Somebody's asking him like, yo, nobody want to talk about the stuff that's going on in Israel. I don't hear rappers talking about what's going on in Israel. I don't hear rappers talking about what's going on in Sudan. I don't hear y'all talking about what's going on in Sudan. Or in South Africa. Or in the Congo. Or what's going on in these hoods over here. You know what I mean? So why do you have to talk about Israel and Palestine and not talk about Sudan or Puerto Rico or Cuba or Haiti? This is what I'm talking about. They want you to look at certain things. They don't want you to talk about certain things. You know what I mean? Russell want to just mention things about Israel and Epstein and all that. Talk about Haiti. Talk about Sudan. How the reason why these people are broke is because of Europeans and Americans. The government. You know what I mean? He mentioned Hitler because of all this stuff that the Jews are doing and canceling everybody. And he knew that would rustle some feathers. Ruffle some feathers. Rustle some feathers. He was trying to rustle some feathers. You know what I mean? But he didn't mention Leopold. And Leopold caught more bodies in the Congo than Hitler during the Holocaust. You know what I mean? So to me, He's just doing some shock jock shit. You want to pick and choose. You know what I mean? What issues to talk about and say things about. You know you're gonna piss people off. Well, it is what it is. Moving on though. What else is up? Godfrey. He's just mad at this comedian, this African comedian, because what he said about Lion King. Now, my thing is about this is Godfrey is wrong in his explanation.
So, learn more, who's a Zimbabwean comedian. You know, he's the America's Got Talent champion. He's won lots of awards. He is being sued by liom, who is the composer of that song, Circle of Life. He's being sued for $27 million, which we don't know what for. I just found a really, really interesting video.
Here comes a lion, father. Oh yes, it's a lion.
Now, you know this whole Lion King thing, the interpretation of that, right? So, I happened to find a video of Seth Rogen and Billy, Billy on the Street? I think it's Billy Icahn. So they're discussing the Lion King and what that song means.
Here comes a lion. Oh yes, it's a lion. We're going to conquer a lion.
We're going to conquer a lion.
Yeah.
So they did it before us. So they're saying the same thing. Look, it's a lion, father. It's a lion. Oh my, so it's white?
That's false. As you see, the person that was interviewing Seth told him and the dude Billy what it mean. He didn't just come out and say what it mean. The interviewer said it. So now he trying to throw it onto Seth. I don't really like that. A lot of things Godfrey be doing, I be liking, but not this right here.
People saying that it's just a lion. Same thing. And this is years before we did it. And then Seth Rogen sings the song like I did.
Here comes a lion.
That was
it's a lion.
Really dumb, actually.
Did we mention it's a lion?
And he goes, look, it's a lion.
Now you see the way he did it. He told him what it is, and then he repeated it. Oh, so you trying to say? See, the way Seth did it, it seemed like it was a joke. You know what I mean? That's the difference. You shouldn't have even bring him into it, bring these people into it. Got nothing to do with it. You know what I mean? You're talking about what the Zimbabwe they did. The African nigga, the Zimbabwean, he said it, and it sounded like he was telling the truth. You know what I mean? It was misrepresentative. You know what I mean? So that's the reason why this dude is mad, and I'm motherfucking happy that he actually is suing him. Whether he win or lose, doesn't even matter. Now I know that that's not the truth, because I actually thought that was the truth. There was some people that thought that was the truth. You know what I mean? But hearing this from Seth and the way that he said it, we know that wasn't the truth. Now I mean, maybe that the reporter, you could probably say, well, she was wrong for telling Seth that. But that's not what Godfrey said. You know what I mean?
You know what I mean? So
you know what I mean?
He's saying some
Nah, I mean
that. You never said, and this is years back. So wow. So now I don't know about that $27 million lawsuit. That's some bull. That's ridiculous. Because you interpret something, you're suing for $27 million. So you guys, please watch this video. You let me know if this dude is being ridiculous.
Yeah, I think Godfrey is being ridiculous, personally. You know what I mean? That dude actually had people thinking that he was a word. That's what it means. People was about to go on the street and start saying that, thinking that's what it meant. You know what I mean? So if people believed him and didn't believe Seth, for whatever reason, yeah, the other dude has a right to be mad. You know what I mean? This is what it is. This is the life. You know what I mean? But y'all tell me what it is. If that person should be mad, even though he had people thinking that was the truth. It is what it is. And what about this Larussell thing? You know what I mean? I ain't really want to go too in depth about it, because I don't really listen to too much Larussell. You know what I mean? But it's just a bigger picture. They ain't worried about what he's saying about them, but they don't ever mention Sudan or Haiti or nothing like that. You know what I mean? And he probably is. The way he got looking like he was sympathy and empathy and all that, I don't know. It is what it is. Y'all tell me what y'all think about it. Come on.